presente en el momento. Sabiendo el momento. Here whatsoever it is. Already. Zero 36 of this Wednesday. This April 13, 2016. I have said that yesterday morning, this Tuesday, past yesterday, a few minutes ago, every real thing in the story that this kept on saying that I was still them. Well, and through naturally this land of hell, because of any other that doesn't belong to the hell. That seems like the remaining of what it was later on were so breathing that most of the figured sick creatures class with the birth of the victims. That's happening here is really insufferable. The reality of the even though understanding what to do with who we are, to be living around such very pukey existences with partner victims. I mean it. You know, follow me please. Impermanent harassment, but even though nothing seems to be so, attention for the land because of every offense, the land, the nation, and me. I have a lifetime of destructions and damages and wrath, and profaned, abused, and destroyed, with a threatening of my life stepping through ways to transform the reality and the normal identity which were exactly normal came. I'm permanently trying to disfigurate, subvert, and destroy my life. Like now, on board of the Airpinero Cuerpo Médico Forense and General Ranchares, which Mauricio Macri, in a very smart bastard holding infierno, which naturally is, starts putting in Tribunales Argentina, Poder Judicial de la Nación, Evangelics United, for the making more invention of case, more trousers of Sodom and Gomorrah and groping, and making the cases all around for whatever the invention for more or less humanity, Jewish side of robberies, and telling that they own everything that I got, and at last, I will just definitely be proved, and elementally proved and evidentially with witnesses that I will rob the money of fame, and I will deny it. And I will rob all I can and also the androids, and I will be today robbing 5 laptops from Blanco Audio. And after I said yes, they were in Frávega, almost Coronel Diaz, Santa Fe, Averno, Buenos Aires. For the thing, oh no, we could fix. Like naturally here. Well, kept on attacking and murdering people and destroying people and coming to Jewish houses that I have no idea why Jewish persist as indeed so obstinately. Around hearing Sodom and Gomorrah degenerados and remaining here for being mid-40s, which are not, except for few criminals that were left making what with Kobe already put it clear. Few, not for cheers. Now, the clear of the painful is I have come with this funny little more. Backpack, jacket, and a very black t-shirt, different jeans, and shoes, white shoes, and the face of Verano. Almost a la Breda Street intersection here in Buenos Aires because of this shop gallery, old-fashioned this, caricaturesquely sick old town in pretending to renew in shape and architectural face, when what remains is fraud and trade of Sodom and Gomorrah and the charades, pretenders playing the Conchiali, Kid One, and Good Ones, and are hypocrite, abominable freaks, organizing criminals within institutions, to saying that they have rights and they will be non-wasting, nothing that they will ever test, where a foreign, non-losing what they said, has rights to give over our lives and about our blood, and as well the reality to train to not living from the career and not losing what they were having as career, and anyone to putting them like the criminals and the terrorists and shit they are, is blowing up my career, is ruining me. And I want to kill them all. Brazen, disgusting caricaturas de Kafka, caricaturas de Pichon Revere, caricaturas de Freud y caricaturas de Hitler, cada uno, y de Sodom y Gomorra, incluyendo los de Estados Unidos, con el perdón de algunas víctimas, aunque no sé para qué carajo defiendan lo que se aborrecido y condenado. La fraternalización de prostitutas y de degenerados y criminales solamente la muerte, y nadie salva sino solo Dios. Y solamente Dios determina, no el Cristo de ungido y autoridad. Now, the reality of this, there are a lot of people around this Padre de Mierda, Sodom y Gomorra, that are being frightened. Sorry for the terms, forgive me please. And frightened really for the killing death, killing murder, or destroying them families. And also coming to them houses to rape them. And the Perros Degenerados keeps on making the gest of over-profaning me to repeating every word and think that they do what I do. And also this will be for inteligencia traducida. But for the investigations, researches, for making a real reality about we know is against the state and we, Sodom America, de Gomorra, including Perros, making themselves for sustaining the shit. I'm saying no. I want you to forgive me please for the state that I have, which the words I'm delivering every day, a struggle that every day is discussed and shell and pride. There is nothing that has to be, unless they will have rights for it. Now, just came around. That gallery shop, that computer's information and supplies, informatic information and supplies for, where this person that I saw told me that yesterday, Tuesday, would be the carcassa body of a laptop, my Acer 5736Z, to the putting the device in and having a very normal state in right conditions for the making the right use of. And I have been for 1 hour. I came to a McDonald's right on Pueyrredon and Santa Fe Tabernos intersection, Buenos Aires. And I have been there while still the Vecchia Mierda Argentina keeps on delivering that they will be upright. Well, I just come to talking with God ill. And while Perros Degenerados de Sodom y Gomorra, Sitia, Policía Federal Argentina, con la Argentina Nacional, and telling, oh, help me to reproduce the conversation in which we've done it. And I told him that license office and to government of Israel still threatened and to make the sickness this Perros de Mierda presents to do. Abominable, degenerado, desgracia, infernal, basura argentina, with a burden of victims. Other clear fact of this, just as simplicity, had been for more than an hour, and all through, whenever I came back after just this, to request me and telling me he will call me back, for I took it 0.5% of the cost, and coming this Wednesday, which he never done, so suddenly I were about coming back, and I saw certain things that I needed to see around, and whenever I just came back, all through where Policía Federal Argentina, the General Marica, considered Fexberg, with Evangelistas Unidos of Guillermo Arce that started coming to the place that I were, telling the story like with everywhere and everybody and everyone, that I would making the switching out of stolen devices, that they did not sell me nothing because of I had stolen devices and were a stolen device, and this is not a lie. That I were both masking and erasing the supposed traces. And Policía Federal Argentina, Marica, telling exactly the same, and saying that I would be a very dangerous felony, that I would robbing evangelicals all the time, and I would rob everything that I got to evangelicals, and even my body. In the tacit example said, also the bonds belongs to them because of this, that's right, and gotta pay with everything, even with life. Policía Federal Argentina, mi arrancarme la generala. Went through that, I came again to that person while trying to carry my way, and Marica, the General, sorry the word again, were talking with the custody, with the security, private security of the place. To make more time, just like Perra Marica, the General Federal, y Fuerza Armada, permanently are doing not only as the normal of the ambience they are, but also students all around. There you go. It's totally sick, the liar, and also rough. You should think, okay, do you want? I to show you how it comes in a hurry and hits with my, I'm gonna, sorry for this, scratches the balls out, if you want the word, and with the whips of the Putazo de General Inferno, forget the word, determinates that that will be hitting me. Making a mind control of Puto de Cuarta, Profano Pagano, and the groping the balls, and that will be, I will attach and I will condemn. With the Mierda Argentina, which follows them, and sorry the words, and sorry the victims. So suddenly in the middle of this figure of the Argentina de Mierda, I have been talking with Melech, and I'm sorry my terms, Mankai, and I'm sorry to mention 4 terms of yes and okay, which I got Mankai. And in the reality of this, my king, precious king, beautiful, were just asking me for something, and while asking me, I said, of course, and I took. And I'm sorry for the day and for the words and for the view, thus and schmutz, and the view and the sickness, which is not mine, not away. And suddenly, Marica se enferma, Policía Federal Argentina, telling, oh really, okay, let's come to each, and so let's see, first to do. Which are Sodoma, y Gomorra, perro de mierda. And I'm sorry the victims. And the reality of this, which turned to keep on making the same, and I were simply just around and making time up with the almost depleted battery of my Android. Suddenly, I have been found in Botanic Garden, here in Sarah's Palermo place, and I went around inside while Perritas de Cuarta, while Maricas, in the middle of a reality that I published the photos that I done last night here. Maricas Federales, Gendarmes, and the rest, making a profanation over, oh, the delicious of the love practice, and elementally, love, keeping and proceeding about, for whatever the situation on referring criminalistics and forensics, saying, oh, this works for my C-word, phallus, shut up. For that, and sacrificial will work much better, and we're going to be greatest in the heaven, and everybody will want to blowjob, and Mike shuts up and said, marica de mierda, and I'm gonna, like, crazy with this. And profaning me and the evangelica perra degenerada, sorry the word, of Guillermo Lacerrain, and them associated all over because of our all liars, except for a brief list. All manipulative, all diablos degenerados, except for a brief list. Malnacidos, atrofiados, hijos del infierno. About the reality to making a blanky borraves bachtach machaligri, so seems staging that everybody will be praying for, oh Lord, and everybody to be handled, and everybody to fix. Oh Lord, we claim to you for you to destroy everything that we're done against your people, and everything that is not alright, and whoever to be that's making something wrong, you make your judgment, and there to be mercy for the sinner. Well, and we're covered by this screen of degenerados, sorry for the used ones, every barra de puerta telling that I will be Caden, but frightening the kidnapped Rabin that we have them all already. Power, 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 because of the Gibson that I will done everything that they desire, and maricas federales, maricas UTN, maricas UCA, maricas UBA, maricas UBA Ingeniería, maricas universidades, que se creen que son Fuerzas Armadas del Ejército Argentino, making that, oh, have you seen the cybercopter? Oh, it's great, then it's pressable there, oh, it's cyberized, and there it is. The reason why has the front for the brain, and the going to the back, and also the reality of the cyber for the pressure to cover everything in that sustains always. The click and the message was seen, oh, there, and the back makes the perfection. Have you seen it? And telling that they are doing to us, and they are hacking and robbing, and kidnapping engineers of the world, for the making Untitled Chapter and torture, for it to be told to them. 16 prototypes of this pretending to emulating the cybercopter with engines TTIMT that are like a Sea Harrier, and overflies no more than 2,600 meters high, with a speed of no more of 320 kilometers per hour, with an autonomy of 2.5 hours, and comes down with 4 tons weight. And we will rob them this. And our terror chat and espionage and robbery and degenerations and murders to saying that at last they've shown that we will rob them about the trend to see how to work each species and how to manufacture, saying that they are taking out terror chat making. So this tierra de mierda never stops, and I am tired to having obstructions. And this is clear, we have problems, but I don't want alleviated. And whoever rises whatever element for the making disasters from the world, for this cast of shit, I'm going to deal with them. And ain't no one that is working with me. And I'm serious about this. And whoever says, are you afraid of me? No, I am putting you executed. And he's thereafter. Now, the reality of the soul, for the same clear. I suppose they will be robbing, I suppose they will be making mind control, while this tough evangelistas were serving for the case of the profanation to be worse, saying that I should be, and others making the staging battle of the Guarda, no le desafío mi padre, and recognizes that I am talking to a high, and that I am the one I am, and the high talks to me, and makes more time and says, and after that, starts to say with maricas K, maricas peronchas, maricas conjetas, maricas cría de Sodoma y Gomorra, Fuerzas Armadas del Ejército Argentino, and the whole of that descended of chiefs of state, except for people. Tierra de mierda, that I would lie while I am talking to Gobio, to life in office, or making something around, or trying to make something normal as a person. And while the extortion in a place or places around where can happen the last of the sickness, the one that is the liar. So, casta de putas, tierra de mierda, with a pardon of victims, con el perdón de víctimas. es una cosa de mierda que lo único que sirve para matarlos y mandarlos al infierno. Ninguna otra cosa se puede hacer acá. Y feliz que así va a ser. Now, the reality 4. רבע פלחים הרפך חלקים הרפוכר, נשפוך פלחים הרפך חלקים הרפוס מצמצר. Started to making up the whole of the cases all over again and destroying my life for supposedly I wouldn't have it stop making. And I would be robbing technologies and the whole stuff that handed out Policía de Argentina Secretary Program, making up the cases because of Mauricio Macri, instaurated stuff that handed out evangelistas pretended to play the churches and the persecutors, secretaries, and whatever the sick generada in here for what it is the foreign life, the foreign belonging, and the name of that they will be the supreme, and nobody gonna stop them. And delivering that they are going to understand, that they are going to cheat the devil by making the figurations of life, saying, we are going to show the real state of this person. And the real state of this person is that he did not profane. Telling that they cut to taking everything of God off of me, including my bones and my blood. And that will be my real state for them. Saying and delivering that everything of my life, my person, my existence will belong to them, are Sodom and Gomorrah, the reason why of this behavior. Sodom and Gomorrah, and I come all over again. Runes. And we're found in well, keep some profaning and negative observations, palabras infernales generadas evangélicas de themselves. Everyone. Verder laat men zich übergaan in blokkeren pochmat gezien. In gelijk mogen machtig gelijk is zo zijn. Lekker gemacht. So, other clear fact of the soul happened over class of things. And over class of things were exactly key waar we voor mogelijk hier waar we het zien. En gelijk hier waar we vergaat maar blijven niet dat we het zien. En gelijk hier mogen we toch wacht maar gaan we zien. And we give some profanity and saying, I want to talk that way, I want to think that way, I want to be like him, kill me. Perras tape general de esta maldita degenerada tierra. Y sus perros degenerados maricas de Sodom y Gomorra y bruja de mierda, especially Bachelet. Foblekim mogravetzechad chalim magravetz bogar shvichad chmat, so suddenly whatever. Bleki mogravetzechad chalech metirami. And there's two people made the same in words. And while through I have been degraded until the cut in hell, and I have been living hell plus this day. Because of this one of the things that were made and worse. And things that I'm not going to say at this moment, but already were soon. That's what it's going to me for the reason of this sources happened to me as well. In my state. Now, to the reality. I just have been around and like you over Fokman Zachary Shwachmati and like you over Fachachali Sotama. So Sodom and Gomorrah and Angelica. Deliring that they would ever have the land of Israel. Deliring that I would rob everything which understanding because of they said that Lord never kept me and they will never have to have everything I am and being all I am and I existed like Ibogavetechnim and says where the ruins like Imogavetechum Belech Bachan Esfachan and Chalikisos Pidim Magavetachim at Binzegin and Amstavetzi. And the Torah delivered Blanco Shepat Senong Skachensa Chparitishtia Aravoklach Machim Isvashvera Chavmiti Spache for Atimot. And Yeshua in law at Armageddon says, But Borid Vashpertika Rekhalikim Ravafochalchim Evanchelu Machumalactica. Ansepua Robesutsu Utika, Berobesmati, Evangeleshelka Holako. And it's exactly what this paragraph infernal says. Machas diabla de Sodom and Gomorrah. Playing the operations of the God himself. as if they would be. And robbing and sending to rape, to murder, and to destroying, and deliring that I wouldn't be allowed to access, but just them. And I will have no rights for nothing, because of Lord will give them the whole existence, my life, and everything in the state of Israel, and all the corporations, and everything that I sent them, and everything that I've done, and also have the Argentina will not have rights, because of my identity will be done, and my name, and everything I am, and everything I've done, because of I will be just the protection and property for intelligence of the state. But the reality is simply and evangelistas nazistas para generar criminal, gran enfermedad, Sodoma y Gomorra, with permanent victims, permanently to doing this, and robbing me what the runners sent me. I don't care. And murdering people to rob them money and saying that they took away from me until the last coin of the less humanity, telling that I robbed them all, that we're all evangelicals for, not to me. And saying that I cost them this, but even though Rabbi cost them this, said, and the whole evangelicals that raised against them cost them this, and also they were knowing that people were having envy, or jealousy having for them, and for them prestige and powers and conditions that started coming to the whole of the states and nations, in front of the national televisions over the states, telling in their languages with not knowing no shit and saying that we're the Holy Spirit, that they will be the horrors of all, raised for blood up anybody, and to giving and providing the whole of the most of the Blekin and saying that they will be preaching the evangelium of truth, that they will be Aliyah Moshe in my place, in our place. And also the Raphaelim in Holy Spirit term will ever make them speak whatever they need, and insulting the people and saying the people were not exactly attached for the reality. They will be talking in languages. Diablos degenerados son. And they insulted people and they said things that they never understood and weren't clear what they were saying because of they were speaking and things that the people were understanding they were speaking and were nothing of no Holy Spirit. And were delusional that there was sickness. And they thirst to blame me, saying that I will cause this to them and push them while I have been destroyed by them and just busy about that they wanted to destroy the world and killing everybody. With a very holocaust all over the world, ready with them Aris, Sodom and Gomorrah, because of they said we had abandoned. So suddenly in the middle of this reality, 30 people doing the same, and that they will ever talk to my mother because of I will be robbing 5 or 7 laptops all around like I said audio, and after I said, oh no, but I went from that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. We're from Coronel Diaz, Averno, and Santa Fe, Averno intersection. Just watching for this banjo, trademark I-7 on almost 19,000 pesos that were beautiful. I wish I will ever have my own natural credit that your runners from License Office wants to send me for the having the normal of a new device at the right actual configuring for the actual technology for my requirements and needs for my normal utility for what it is an informatic tool that I will use with pleasure for making the whole I wish I'll do, but not here, even though. And I saw another which were a Lenovo trademark, 21 inches screen, 8I/O system for desk, which were for about 17,000 pesos. Sorry, not dollars. Argentinian currency. And this 17,000 pesos were about this AMD 86 chipset processor for the BIOS PRMT on 4 giga on board for what this main board will ever deliver in a very awesome for work in the whole I do, and I will be really pleased about having a great device. And I was just watching some prices and some newest about the products in the market here, and I just came out expecting to having this person to talk, and this person told me, okay, wait a little more, and I'm going to call you. He never called me, not even for the channel to be, okay, I called him, I called him any other time. He never done. And I went around and around. I went to Parque, this garden, botanic garden, and just went off. Once I went away from there, and another problems, and I were inside of a bathroom of the place, watching myself in front of the mirror, with a very wanting to disappear and wanting and wishing never having birth in this tierra de mierda. But at last, the reality is that I have been through another problem, and the problem was solved. Why I had the feeling, the reality of watching myself in the dark in front of a mirror in a very place that I don't need. Because of evangelistas parras derivan todo tipo de generaciones y dicen que sería mi lugar. Should I say puta muta de Lucifer con Sodoma y Gomorra, son. And starts to saying that I'm delivering, and I will deliver too much a la puta muta de la maldita puta muta argentina de Lucifer y de Sodoma y Gomorra. So in the middle of the soul, I just came on the reality to come back and not even call through and not even call to that one that had not even a chance of reality to give me not even an SMS for I to know that Colton found that saying that he would fix that same yesterday, Tuesday day, and giving me the possibility that I could pay the 50% of the world and coming this Wednesday for the taking my case that I don't have. So the hypocrisy of this disgusting land and certain not even a respect were exactly the lifetime for the making what you see in market of the generados that no one ever stopped and kept on making the same and murdering people, whoever to will say no. And puta muta Gomorra, puta muta Sodoma never makes any other, but using me like also bite for the making what they do, the reason why I didn't want no one to come here. And less of the way for the knocking at my door, which nobody reaches. And the reality for what it is, also deflecting that I will live in any other place, Alfred, and anybody else pretending to be me with my forged ID, like Pedro de General Policía Federal Argentina, Evangelistas Unidos Argentina, telling, okay, this is with his DNA, this check, $900,000 and $3 million. Okay. Make a DNA to me with my face to be 20 million and my number, my ID, birth here in Argentina. Then I comment, I just took the money, it's okay, that's what I read. Normal in this tierra de mierda. While the generalazos were telling a pleki that I were about to robbing and went to making tenants for a place that I would buy a supply that I needed for that keep on using a computer, which is mine. Since 2011, 12 payments with the Visa credit card of the creditation, but emission of French Bank, Buenos Aires, of my sister and brother-in-law, which paid Irene, my mother. Now, Fablegi Robert Fatmaseflin, I will rob everything, I will be a criminal, I will be a dangerous one, when Marica Cide, Marica Federales keeps on repeating what I'm saying about the playing the superheroes, and they will show that they will be the authorities and I will be a teller, Marica de mierda, and keeps on making the same message. And I'm tired of this and saying these words, and I'm tired of this land, and I want this land in ashes, and I want this to be finished. I am having obstructions and threatening against the state, and much over. And Prolapsus Argentinos keeps on learning that they do what I do, and they will be me. And murdering and destroying and studying how to suppress and destroying and masking for that and kill, saying that they are going to like crazy with everything they do to me, like a bite putting me in a court for trapping the seduced, there's the saying. And for the whatever I do, saying that they are and they do, and they're going to like crazy, forging, and the Rafaeli will move behind with all I do and all I exist. And he started this tierra de mierda, and I want it all dead. Except payments, which I don't know what am I going to do, but this is enough to me. And this is a long ago, and this is enough ever. And evermore. Galima Rafakli, Rafakli, Shpatmachlacham, Implaki Boras, Spatachalachi, Shpatima, Rafakhlachmatachli, Shpachalaki, Rovastin, Blade Rafaktika, Shpachalachmatam, and kept on making the same Plaki, Rafakhi, Shpatachmoat, Sabliviti. Spokleki pograffa halachat hanikishvita kachamanasa kept on launching people through Salada, Evangelical Hemiala, and kept on making the same. The situation is murder people now, and others. And it's not exactly the ones which are the enemy. It's exactly people that were friends of mine. I have the whole but 68 so in the whole of the world. And our same pagos hijos de una maldita reventada voluntaria que los informa puta. Argentinos, uno solo. Y sus amigos. Now that we reflect on the reality for this, I'm sorry for the terms, I'm sorry for everything, I'm tired and I feel lousy. And have been destroying my life today and putting me like a piece of shit. For maricas, hijos de una gran maldita reventada voluntaria que nos va a putar. Y barras, de simples, kirusnas, peronistas, macris for the Department of Victims. And the normal, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Iraq to having the business of the day. Say that they will touch me and they will show that I will rob everything, that I will turn up making, that I will need medications to have to be internated because of they will show that I will lie, and everybody of my friends shall ever take them because of they were issued and I will calumniate them and to everybody, you know, and there's nothing to consider about such a word to say someone on the diplomat corps for the states and for the I am deliberated every day and I'm destroyed every day in this sick shit. Doesn't pass. Whoever obstructs for justice to be done, I'm going to with him. DITMT 2 points, Barbar, PTE, PTM, PTC, Flafam, middle, Clavilon, Clavinem, middle, the complete of the I care for Roberts Meat, Harvard Ishwas on Roberts Patient, Skeptic for Rastisim, which is in Planan, and it's not Hebrew, TPI, middle, Cis, middle, Incon, Simbin, 18. BTI middle toss point ATP back point DP thumb C 8443 point DMT 8 point EDIC 5. 7 DR antif Blavetmin on F9 recall thin skirts and blunders on the last DCI Blatzer clever man that I sent to your runner lesson of it and the last key that I got of my site. I am not telling certain things which I should not have said, but for this moment it's exactly that, and it's better.